Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A show on Inside the Birds platform. My name is Jason Avant, and I'm here with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Q, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back. Another exciting week, man. It's been a fun week, so let's dive into it, man. Crazy, right?
Crazy. Let's go. We just played another exhibition game, another preseason game in week 18.
Right.
So let's get ready for the playoffs. Before we get to that talk, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. We want to thank everyone at Inside the Birds, to Adam and Jeff and Hunter, Josh, everyone that's responsible. If you want to be heard, make sure that you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, insidethebirds@gmail.com. We'll make sure that we get to your question eventually. And thanks to the fans that tune in each and every week. We really appreciate everyone that's supporting this show. Thank you a million. And you, let's talk about a few things. Our Birds finished the season, headed to the playoffs. We thought the game would come down to the Cowboys at the end of the season. Game totally meaningless. We rest all of our starters. We allowed Jason Kelce to keep his streak alive. We allowed Devontae Smith to break the rookie receiving record. We allowed a few other things to take place, but it was largely a preseason game.
Yep.
Your takeaways of the Cowboys and Eagles game?
I think my biggest takeaway was, Dallas played their starting offense most of the game, well into the third quarter. They're patting themselves on the back. Dak threw 5 touchdowns, set a record. He's, running around like he just won a gold medal, And so my biggest takeaway from that was just how desperate Dallas is right now. Like, not in the sense of, a must-win situation, but situation where their offense really, really struggling. And, to come out there with the starters, going against, our backups and really a couple rookies and especially in the secondary, guys that didn't get a whole lot of, opportunities to play during the season, to go out there and kind of, in my opinion, felt like they're just kind of rubbing it in your face. It's a little bit, it was kind of mind-boggling to me. I didn't.
You didn't like that because the secondary is exposed.
That's exactly why, man. Because it was these guys' kind of first big burn, and you could tell they're still learning, man. It's tough playing defense in the NFL, and they've been playing for years, and they're out there, tapping themselves on the back and all that. It's typical offensive player behavior,
Yeah, they were a little bit too excited for some of the wide open touchdowns. Like, you never see that many easy touchdowns given up. It was a lot of just easy ones. It was one where the tight end just runs right over the ball to 12 yards and catches it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was just, a couple flat routes, touchdown. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is easy. But that's what happens. And they were really excited about it. My biggest takeaway from that game, I would say that one of the biggest takeaways is that, yes, Dallas is desperate to get their offense rejuvenated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Desperate. They're trying to do everything that they can in order to get confidence going into the playoffs. We know that their defense will get the ball back and is playing at a high level, especially their defensive line and their front seven as a whole, playing really well. And you got Trayvon Diggs playing well also. So they're trying to get the offense jump started. So that was a big takeaway for me. And then the big takeaway for me also was the confidence that Sirianni has in the starters, right? Yeah. So there got to be a little bit of competitive fire being held back when you know that Dak is going to play, you know that their starters are going to play and the defensive line is going to be there. It kind of, to me, it would kind of push me into a situation where I'm like, hey, Devontae, we're staying a little bit longer. AJ, do you feel like playing? But he had confidence in his guys. So that's a big takeaway for me as well. So, like, Hopefully that pays off. I know our guys need some rest. There's a few guys that definitely need the rest. Jason Kelce needs the rest. Lane Johnson needs the rest. Guys have been beat up. We know about Jalen Hurts' ankle and him, not running as much over these last 3 games since the ankle injury, right? So our guys need some rest. And so I'm not a big fan of sitting out games, but in this case, it didn't mean anything. So we'll see what happens this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But on the other hand, the team that they're facing, they played a lot of snaps.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, let's talk about it. All right. Playoffs are here. Discuss what this week for playoff game is like inside the building. Right? So discuss what this week is like inside the building, like the week of the playoffs, right? Because you got to remember, nobody else is playing now. You've eliminated half the league and more. Now it's only a few teams playing. It's 7 on each side. It's 14 teams left.
Yeah, it's do or die time. I mean, on usually after the regular season ends, you usually we get either Monday and Tuesday off. But a lot of times, even if we have those 2 days off, a lot of times guys come in on the Monday after, getting your body right, getting in the ice tub, doing all that little extra stuff that you probably skipped during the season at times because you just wanted to be home. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, I got to get my body ready. Got to get ready to go. So, you start your prep on that Monday. You get your mind right on that Monday. Mm-hmm. You show up for practice on Wednesday, and it's like I just remember, just dead silence on the practice field. I remember in the meeting rooms, just dead silence. Like everyone is tuned in. Everybody's taking notes. Everybody's locked in. Everybody's spending extra time. And it's just the focus level just goes up tremendously. And it's really kind of a cool thing to see. And as a young player, it's really cool to see it early in your career, as I was fortunate enough to do, because then I kind of learned, all right, like I learned early, like this is the real deal. So yeah, it's a whole different ball game.
The thing that I remember most about the playoffs and all the times that I've been is how much more media coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so Philadelphia is a big market now. So it's the 5th largest market. And, just in the country, right? 5th or 6th is usually back and forth between Philly and Houston and so on. Not Philly, Houston, and Phoenix, right? So those are big markets as well. So, but when everyone is eliminated, those reporters from Cleveland and those reporters from, DC or whatever else, right? They're coming to Philadelphia for the game that week, right? So they're trying to cover the local region now. So instead of it being, 15, 20 beat writers, it turns into 70, 80 people in the locker room, like trying to get as much time as they can. And it's nonstop. It's all day, right? Because it's like the main focus. And it makes you think like, man, these games are starting to get bigger and bigger, right? Yeah. So it just amplifies like the energy around it. And then you realize, okay, we've graduated to playing teams that will not beat themselves.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that's the thing. Like when you make to the playoffs, there's a bunch of teams that just they're not going to beat themselves. And it's very, very hard to win games in the playoffs. And so I remember that focus. And I remember my rookie year having my first experience. My rookie year was you remember this because my rookie year was when Donovan got hurt in Tennessee, and we were like scrambling. Jeff Garcia came in. We went on like a 5-game winning streak in order to get us in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was
2006.
2006. Yep.
Yeah. So and we had a similar game that the Cowboys and Eagles just had. Because we had to play the Falcons, and we beat the Falcons with all of our backups.
I remember that.
Michael Vick and everybody, they had their whole team playing. I know they were so mad they were losing us. But I remember it because how fast the game got, how We beat the Giants in the first game. We went down to New Orleans. That's when Sheldon Brown hit Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah. So I remember like it's just then how hyped that game was. I was like, man, this is crazy. And it came down to whoever had the ball last. And so I remember all that. But the media, how focused the team was, but also just like the best of the best are playing. You kind of asked this question. Players are more serious for the most part. Like guys try to keep it loose, but it's hard to keep it completely loose because it's at stake, right? And you feel like you're playing for extra money too.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like you're playing for their playoff check, right? So it's not as much as it should be, but it's like extra money that you weren't counting on, right? So you're like, dude, let's keep going because we make it to the Super Bowl, we get this amount of money. So
everybody had their calculators out. Like, okay, we win this game, we get this. All right. Now, if we go all the way there and win this, so we knew. Everybody knew. Like, listen, we got to get that.
We got to get that. Yeah, everybody had it. Yeah, hold on, wait a minute. We can make it past this round. Ooh, makes it third. Ooh. Oh man. And yes, our coach is more intense.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like to the point where it makes no sense. Like, one of Andy's biggest thing he always used to say is don't play the game before it's played.
Yeah.
And then it's like the coaching staff don't live by what they preach. Like you playing the game in your head right now. We done already lost in your head right now. Like losing your mind because somebody made a bad play in practice. Like calm down.
At the end of the practice, guys, it wasn't good enough today. Like dude, it wasn't the defense ball one time today. Defense caught 2 picks. It ain't good enough practice today. Oh man. Yeah, but I remember coaches being really intense and just emphasizing like one misstep, one play, max focus, things like that. If you take it for granted one time, it can cost you the game in the playoffs. So, and I remember that. I remember how hyped those playoff games were, though, man. That's a different level of excitement. It's like the max level of competition. So yeah, it was because it's all good teams. You beating good teams, and you get a high from beating good teams.
It's like every playoff game is like a Super Bowl until you get to the Super Bowl. So like every game, it just feels like you're the only game everyone's tuned in. So it feels like a Super Bowl until you get to that next one, right? You win that first one, and you get to the next one, and it feels even bigger. The implications are even bigger. The eyes are even bigger. And then when you get to the Super Bowl, it's like, the entire world watching. So it gets more and more intense the higher you go up, and it's really a different experience. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain in words the feeling that you get, but it's just like, you just feel like all eyes are on you. Even back then, I was a special teams player. I saw the field maybe 10, 15 plays. But you best believe, like on them 10, 15 plays, I felt like everybody in the world was watching me.
Yeah. But that's it. Everyone was. Yeah. Right? No one's watching until somebody gave up a kick return. Right? And then they're like, oh, number 27 was right there in the lane. You can see the announcer. Like, look, Johnny, circle right in this area. This is where the ball hits. This is where 27 is. He runs on the opposite side of the block. He should be right there. Boo 27, right? And they call you right out.
I tell you what, man, I'm glad they didn't have all the angle, like the camera angles and all the stuff they got nowadays with all this stuff. All the plays that done got knocked over and ran over. All my family been home talking about like, ooh, what happened on this play? Like, what happened on that play?
That's funny stuff. Like, and coaches get a little bit tight, get really tight, just to the point where their nervousness and their insecurity or fear begins to like be given to you right? It's like it's transferred because they're like worried. They're worried about a certain player. Like, hey, you can't let Aaron Donald wreck this game. Can't let DeMarcus Ware wreck this game. Hey. Yeah, I seen him catch the ball, and the ball exploded when he caught it. That's how strong his hand is, right? They're just amplifying it and making everybody. You know what? They got the best cornerback in the world over there. They say he better than Deion Sanders, right? So they're like worried about every like little thing, especially the special teams coach, right?
Oh my God, Harbaugh.
Oh my gosh! No matter what returner it was, hey you guys, hey this guy here. Cribs.
It could be somebody that downed the ball the entire game, and that's the thing. Like, especially defensive coaches. Like, I don't know how it was for the offensive coaches, but defensive coaches, it gets to the point where like they start coaching ghosts. Like they'll draw or they'll think about a play. Like, let's say you have a blitz call. They'll be like, okay, if we have this blitz call, what if they do this and do that and do that? And so like they start thinking about stuff that it's like a 1 in a million opportunity for that to even happen. So you're just coaching against stuff that you don't even have to worry about. But I understand it now, being on the other side of it. I understand as a coach. But back then I'm like, man, coach, like you freaking out about something that, first of all, I don't even think they have that in their playbook.
In their playbook, right? We haven't seen it. He didn't create it. The only look that he knows can beat it. Nobody else figured that look out. But hey, look, man, if they ever get in this right here, this is what can beat us in this. If they send this guy to the flat and he do a dipsy do and turn around in 3 circles and delay and go up the field, then he'll be wide open. And we got to have a guy looking out for that. Oh, NFL coaches, man, sometimes they just so smart and they have so much time, unnecessary time, right? Because I've been a coach where you spend, 100 hours, literally. I'm not joking to you. You spend 100 hours a week, 90 to 100 hours a week. You got so much time in that building looking at tape. You just start creating stuff, right? You've seen it so many times that you're like, oh, this will work, but
yeah. Crazy. They used to sleep there, man.
Yeah,
Andy, they slept in the building. Like,
what NFL coaching is tough when guys have Murphy beds in their office and showers. It's tough. Like, it's a tough job, and everyone, for the people that may not consider this as like a real job type of thing. No, these men work 100 hours a week. They barely see their families. They're required to be there until at least 10 o'clock. And they get there at 7 a.m. at least. And then there's guys that don't go home. I'm sitting there like working on my film because I got nothing to do, not married, or I'm just sitting there. I'm working on my stuff. It's 12 o'clock at night and the office is juking like it's 5 o'clock. Like it's, whatever it is. It's just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of, hey, Jason, can you look at this coverage? Tell me about this. Like, it's a whole conversation going on because I'm right by the coffee machine. So everybody got to get coffee by me, right? So
nonstop, man.
Nonstop. So when you talking about, and this is just regular season game. So when you talk about playoffs, man, please, these dudes, they don't go to sleep.
They don't.
All right, practices for playoffs a little bit lighter mostly, because we've already gone through the rigors of a season. Everything's about mental reps. Everything's more so about mental reps. Coaches, whatever the coach was doing toward the end of the season, and I used to like it because Coach Reed, if we got on a little hot streak, that was our key was to get on a little hot streak at the end of the year when he especially on a Thursday night. Yeah. We get on a little hot streak on a Thursday night game where we practice like part Monday, part Tuesday, off Wednesday, game on Thursday. If we won that game and we played well, he would allow us to have that schedule for the rest of the year.
For real. And that was love, man.
I used to be like, dude, we got to win these games. We got to win these games. Get this walkthrough for 2 days, then just a light practice, one practice, and then play a game. That used to be great. Love it.
And when we took the pat, when you take the pat, so most of the time during the season, we always had either shells, like full pass, not full pass. First few games of the year, you're full pass, but then by the second, third game, you're just in uppers. And then, if we get hit like a little win streak, we'll start taking them shoulder pads off and put these shells on. The shells was so loved, man. It was like for all the skill positions, it was like you might as well not even put no pads on. I mean, it's like the underlining of these shoulder pads. They take those out. They have them, you just strap them. They got your number on them and stuff. You just strap them on, put your jersey on, and it's just nothing.
Yeah, it's just like it gives you a false sense of reality though for a receiver because you get all this range of motion, like so, and that's like the new jerseys, like they're great right now because the new jerseys are really really flexible. The jerseys that had the Reebok logo on it, the Eagles Reebok jerseys, like those jerseys back then, those nylon jerseys that didn't stretch or didn't move. So you put on those shells at practice and you like this as a receiver. You're like, man, I can get my hands up. You go to the game in those Reebok jerseys. This is most range you can get right here. Like you can't even get up that high. So like if a ball high, you got to like max 40-inch vertical. And just to catch it like this because you couldn't put your hands up. Like little things like that. Like technology changed a lot nowadays. It's craziness. Nick Sirianni has said he's keeping everything basically the same, treating it like another game. Is that what you expect?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would expect that. What they've been doing has been working. I do think they're gonna have to be successful in this game. They're gonna have to have some wrinkles, especially in offense. They're gonna have to try to do some different things because let's face it. This defense is really tough, even though they're down a few guys in the secondary. That front is ridiculous. Villa, I forget how you say his name. Vita.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is a monster in the middle. So they're definitely going to have some little wrinkles here and there. But I think the best approach is to keep it the way you've been doing it all year. Keep the same schedule that you've been having. Get guys back healthy, and then just go out there and execute and see if you can come out with a win. What about you, man? What do you think?
I can't say I can keep it like any other game. The reason is because you have these are the games that young players hurt you.
True.
Like the playoff games and critical games is where now we've had a lot of young players playing the entire season, but they don't know anything about the playoff speed. Just like basketball, where there is a different tempo, less calls in the playoffs, it's the same in football. The referees don't want to be the deciding factor in a football game, right? So their whistle's a little bit tighter. Guys are playing max every single play. Now you play max during a regular season, but it's like I don't have a tomorrow. There's no chance to correct this in the future max. It's a totally different max. Yeah. It's I instead of running out of bounds, I'm gonna put my shoulder down for the last 3 yards max.
Yeah.
It's the quarterback. Instead of throwing it away, I'm gonna put my head down and try to gain that 1 yard with my legs max.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's true.
It's a kickoff is at the 2 yard line or at the 2 yards deep. I'm bringing it out max. It ain't the regular season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, it's like I'm trying to capitalize on every opportunity max.
Very true.
Right. So it's very, very strategic. And usually in those situations, young players hurt you. So I can't say that you should keep the week the same because you got to emphasize to the young players, especially those that haven't been there. No one, like if you don't have playoff experience and you don't understand what's about to happen, you got to simulate that in some way. And usually business as usual won't help you in that regard. So there has to be some type of simulation of that.
That's true. But I would add to that too. This is the time where the vets got to step up. This is the time where Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Slay hasn't. I don't think he's really been to the playoffs, but Fletcher got guys like that have been there before. This is the time where they need to make sure that the entire team understands what's at stake. Understand that. Listen, like you losing the playoff, you losing the playoff, you have a bad game, you very well could be released, you could be traded. Like this could be it for you. So, yes, at the same time you want to be loose. Yes, at the same time you want to go out there and execute, but you also got to play with a sense of urgency that's like no other. Like you said, every single play matters, and it's going to fall on the veterans on this team to make sure that they understand what's at stake right now. Not to play tight, but just to understand the Buccaneers, they're going to bring it every play. You guys got to bring it every play. They're going to bring it every snap. You guys got to bring it every snap.
They are. And the reason they are because they believe that's the key of having. I remember this. And this is one thing that I'll always remember is that when you have a player that can affect the game, it raises everybody's level.
Absolutely.
Like I remember our energy changed when we were on punt return and Brian Westbrook got in the game. Like I just remember that it was like we played punt return the entire time. We blocked, but when we realized that he was in the game and that player can change everything, our play and level went up. So what happened was every time he got back there, it was a big return.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because we knew that player was special. Same way with a young Deshaun before, he got too cool for it. But when he was hungry back there, we knew like just stay in front of a dude for all of a couple seconds. This may go to the house.
Yep.
So it upped our level. And that's what happens when you got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Frick. When you got Tom Brady, like Tyler Johnson started to look like Antonio Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rashard Perriman should have been out of the league a couple years ago.
I thought he was.
Exactly. Get Tom Brady out there, start looking like Jamar Chase.
Well,
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
I feel you though. Yeah.
We can't go that far. That boy is bad, man. Jamar Chase is a bad man. I'm just saying. So that Tom Brady level is only ups the play of everybody else. The defense knows that all we have to do is be sufficient. All we have to do is be adequate.
Yeah.
Just don't give up 28 points.
Yeah.
Right. We'll win. Just don't give up 28 and we'll be all right. Keep them under 28. We got a shot every game.
That's it.
So we have to have a different level of focus, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can't be a normal week because you're playing against the GOAT. You're playing against a team that feeds off one player.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
very good point.
Wild card weekend.
I mean, I feel like we kind of. I mean,
yeah,
we kind of broke it down. It's the playoffs. Even if it's wild card, it's the playoffs. I mean, 7 seed, and it don't matter. 6 seed, 7 seed, don't matter. I guess it don't. It don't. It's one and done. If you lose it, you're done. So, this I don't care if they're if I'm on the team and we're a 7 seed in the wild card or we are on the bye week, it don't matter. If you lose, you're done. So every game is important. Every game everything's on the line right now.
All right.
I mean,
cool.
Do you look at it differently? I mean, do you look at the wild card game differently?
No, you don't look at the wild card game differently. I know that there's always implications for everything, right? So I'm always thinking about the matchup, and I'm also thinking about can we get a home game? So
yeah, that's good.
That's it. But if we're in a position with the Eagles, you're not getting one unless you're not. So something crazy happens, but so you're not getting one of those. So you're not focusing on that. You're just trying to win a football game.
Yeah.
Just win a game.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just win one, baby.
I must say, hadn't happened in a long, long time. The number one rushing offense versus the number one passing offense.
Wow.
Yeah. Haven't happened in a long time.
Oh, okay. This is all right. Let's see what's
Yeah.
up. I didn't know. I didn't know the Bucs had the number one passing offense.
Yeah. Tom Brady's leading the league in passing.
I thought for some reason I thought it was
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers. Oh, damn.
No,
Damn it.
he's balling.
And we already not great against the pass.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
But they're down.
Over.
They're down two starting receivers. They're down Godwin and AB. All right, so that helps a little bit. They still got Mike Evans and Gronk. They got some young buds, some young guys coming up.
Stop it right now. I done seen this man take freaking Deion Branch and David Givens. Win the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Julian Edelman and Chris Hogan and what was the buddy's name from Georgia? Was it Mitchell? Yeah. So like yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. It's something Mitchell. But yeah,
come on.
I'm just letting you know. So I don't necessarily know if he need Antonio Brown. I'm just going.
I mean, okay, so that's a good point. I gave you a point, but if he had Antonio Brown, his job would be way easier, right?
Opportunity. Opportunity. Tyler Johnson's like Antonio who? AB who? Perriman is like AB who? That's why we didn't pay you. Because anybody can do this job with Tom Brady. All right, Q, let's get into this Draftkings week.
All right, man. The NFL playoffs are here, and the Draftkings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is kicking things off with a huge offer. Counting down to the Super Bowl 56, new customers can get 56-1 odds on any wildcard team to win their game. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. All customers can also get in on the DraftKings Hammer the Over promotion. For every 5,000 bettors who take the over on Saturday night's Cincy versus Las Vegas game, the point total will be lower by half a point. Hammer the Over has hit 0 every time DraftKings has run it. So bettors who win the first point when scored. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code ITB and get 56-1 odds on any NFL team. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code ITB this wildcard weekend at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You must be 21 and older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So, Jay, let's talk about the Eagles offense versus the Bucs defense. All right. Give me your evaluation of this game. What do you think?
Last time two teams played, I believe that we didn't rush the ball the way that we wanted to. But the thing that the evaluation is that you have to establish the run game because that's what we do, number one. I think it's very, very hard to do with Todd Bowles and their ability to run. Now they're missing a few people in their back end. I believe Devin White may be out.
Oh, really?
I think so. I know he was out for a while. So when you have guys as complex as Todd Bowles and his defense, Levante David was out last time. So and if they're back now, it's a little bit different. But when you have a complex defensive coordinator like Todd Bowles, it presents a challenge for Jalen Hurts, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to bring the kitchen sink at Jalen Hurts, right? So Jalen has historically done okay against the blitz, but the amount of pressures that Bowles is going to bring and dial up, it's going to be bananas, like it was in the first game. He kind of bullied him a little bit, and that's the goal. And when you can have fast linebacker play, the Devin Whites and Levante Davids, right? You're not really worried about Jalen Hurts as an athlete because these dudes can run him down, and you can dial up a blitz and take away the ball carrier just so he can keep it so you can punish him. And that's what I remember the last time them playing. They were designing their run scheme, their run defense to make Jalen Hurts keep the ball so they can punish him, having fast enough players to meet him in space. And so I think that's going to be the challenge for the Eagles offense and for Nick Sirianni. How can I come up with creative ways to run the football? Because you running the football and the classic gun and, doing read options and holding it, and that's not working against the defense. Barrett can run. JPP can run. White can run. David, Levante David can run. Their entire defense can run. So it's not the same. It's just not so they got to figure out a different solution. Now, on the back end, let's talk about that. Murphy Bunton is back. Davis is back. Winfield is back. These guys were all, hurting or missing last time we played. So you got a bunch of guys back in their secondary. So this game is turned into a very, very challenging time for our receiver core. So we got to figure out a way to manufacture some offense. And I don't necessarily know how that's going to occur besides running the football.
Absolutely. And I agree. It's got to come from running the football, and it's got to be a commitment to running the football. It can't be, first down they stopped us, second down they stopped us, and then next thing you know, we go on a tear of throwing the ball 10 times in a row. It cannot be that, because if you want to stay in this game, and we've said it all year, you cannot have Jalen dropping back the entire game. He's getting better, but I think even if you're not having a great amount of success with the running game, you still have to pound it in there. You still have to stick with it and commit to the run.
I will give Jalen this, because they were down substantially last time. I believe they were down 28-7, something along those lines, and he brought them back throwing the football. I will say that it was an outlier. It's not something that we've seen a bunch of. Maybe 2, 3 times in his career where something like that occurred. So it's not something that we can become, accustomed to. But I will give him credit. The last time that they were in that situation, his arm did, bring them back, along with a few plays with his legs late in that game. But that being said, it was still a little bit too late, because the Buccaneers had kind of packed it up as far as the offense. The defense was hurting. A lot of guys out for the game, but we're still able to keep them at bay. So, like I said, this defense is fast, it's physical, and they have one of the better defensive coordinators in all football, which loves to blitz.
Yeah, it's gonna be
loves to blitz. And a young team, a young quarterback, we got to be ready for the blitz. Yeah.
So now let me ask. Now, judging based off the first time. The way that Bowles attacked us. If you were going into this game and you're Sirianni, you're crafting this game plan. Obviously, you want to start sticking with the run, but in the passing game wise, what do you feel is the best way to take advantage of the opportunities in the blitzing game, like the opportunities to attack his blitzing schemes?
Well, so there's a few things that you can do, but guys got to get open versus man to man. Right. Okay. So that's what I'm going into the game with, man beaters.
Okay.
Adjusting to everything else. Let me put my best 2 players to the same side against man. Let me figure that out. How can I get Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert on the same side? So against man, I have this side, I got zone versus the other side. But I got my 2 best players working 2-man concepts or 3-man concepts in order to get open versus man to man. That's pretty much it. And when you playing a guy like Todd Bowles, quarterbacks don't have time to read out the bunch stuff and the developing stuff. You just don't have time to. So you get forced to play into their strength, right? Where you got to line up wide without a bunch of motioning and stuff like that. And now you have to beat a person. And now you got to beat Murphy Bunting. Now you got to beat Davis. Does that play in the strength of our receivers? Not necessarily. So what I would do if I was Nick Sirianni, kind of manufacture ways for us to get open and man to man. How can I do that? How can I do that? Can I put us in a couple trips formations and hope for an outflank? Can I do what the Cowboys did to us and run a bunch of crossing routes and have a guy flat and they run into each other? How can I like create a matchup like that? So that may be it, right? Gainwell in the passing game, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. How can I make that mesh? How can I make that work?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
good answer.
Yeah. Eagles run the run game. That's their strength. Miles Sanders' broken hand. Jordan Howard, shoulder, AC joint, dealing with injuries. You worried?
Yeah, I am. I think Boston Scott does a good enough job in the run game. But I mean, this front, I mean, we're talking about Vita, we're talking about JPP, we're talking about Shaquille Barrett. Like, we're talking about guys that can go up front. And our offensive line this is going to probably be one of the biggest tests they've had all season. And even though I have a lot of confidence in our offensive line, there's going to be times where we're going to need a big play from our running back. And outside of in the red zone, Boston hasn't really carried the load in terms of getting those yards. Like, he's I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. Like, he's a very good player. He does do some very good things, but I think over the course of an entire game, you're going to need way more. And the thing that's really helped this running game has been the versatility, has been having Miles Sanders, has been having Jordan Howard, has been having Kenny Gainwell, and those different types of looks is what created such a potent running game. And I really noticed it in the game 2 games ago. I forget who the Eagles played. I forget what game it was, but it just seemed much more one dimensional in the running game as opposed to a few games before when all 3 were healthy. So I am a little bit concerned about that.
I was just looking at this. So you got Sua, right?
I forgot about Sua.
You got Nandam. You got Sue.
How could I?
You got Villa. You got Golston, right? William Golston. You got JPP. You got Devin White, Levante Davis on IR. I had Devin White and Levante David mixed up, but Levante Davis on IR. But you got Shaquille Barrett, you got Murphy Bunting back. You got their secondaries back intact.
Yeah.
The secondaries back intact, pretty much. Besides Jamel Dean, he's been questionable. But their secondaries back. Like, the team, they've gotten healthy with everyone except for Levante David since the first time that we played them. They didn't have a secondary. They had Richard Sherman out there trying to play.
Yeah, I remember that.
So. This team is hitting their stride now. They have key losses on offense, and hopefully our defense can take advantage of that. Will the Eagles need a Nick Foles versus Pats like game for someone, or from someone, like in order to play on their level this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think. And when you get to the playoffs, you're gonna need someone to step up, right? That's basically what this question is somebody gonna step up? Do we need someone to step up and make a play? Do we need someone to step up and have a big game? And I think especially offensively, we're going to need someone to, especially in the receiving core, we're going to need Devontae or Quez or someone to just step up and have a big game, a breakout game, and really kind of take things over. And defensively, we're going to need someone in the secondary to step up and make a big play and make a couple big plays. I mean, it's a playoff time. This is the time where you have to exceed expectations. You have to take chances. You have to, break tackles. You got to go after that interception when you normally wouldn't, gamble. These are times where you got to be accurate on those throws when you haven't been accurate. This is the time where someone's got to step up, and it's got to be more than just one person. So
yeah,
I don't think it needs to be just one person like time and time again. But I think over the course of this game, multiple people are going to have to step up and make big plays that they didn't make in the regular season.
Nick Foles, I agree. Nick Foles versus the Pats type performance, that's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if I've seen a better game from a quarterback, right? Mm-mm. So, that's a pretty perfect game. There was some dimes thrown, the one to Corey Clement, the one to Alshon Jeffrey in the Super like there. He had some dimes. Didn't miss many throws at all, if any. So I can't expect guys to come up with a Nick Foles performance, but yes, someone has to do something that they haven't done, right? Quez, Jalen Reagor, Jackson, somebody has to step up and play above and beyond their ability. Gainwell, somebody has to come and do something in order to be able to, because just to be honest with everyone, and I'm not an Eagles hater. I'm not, because y'all know I love this team. This is who I am. I love this team. But we're outmatched when it comes to rosters.
Yeah.
Even with them losing a lot of people, we're outmatched when it comes to roster. So with that being said, you need a crazy performance from somebody. Does it have to be perfection? No. The offensive line has the ball. The defensive line has to ball. Yeah. There is if Tom Brady has a lot of time, this is the only teams that ever have beaten him is teams that got to him at some point in the game
without blitzing. Because if you blitz him, it's a wrap.
At least we know our defense coordinator not blitzing. we don't have to worry about that part.
This is the one game where I'm like, don't blitz.
The only time you can blitz Tom is if you have like a situation where you got the dogs in order to play man to man.
Yeah.
That's the only time you can blitz him, and there's only a few teams that can do that.
Let me even think. So you're gonna need Revis Island on one side. You're gonna need Jalen Ramsey on the other side. You're gonna need Ed Reed at safety.
It's only a few. It's only a few. And it's crazy that the people that have had to beat him have had like miracles to happen. David Tyree's helmet catch, Nick Foles perfect game, Ed Reed, the best safety, probably one of the top 2 safeties in history. Like people that's giving them problems. I'm just being honest.
That's real.
Isn't it crazy? Prime, Von Miller, and DeMarcus Ware. Like, it take a lot. And Peyton Manning.
Like an all-Madden team, man.
So it takes a lot. So somebody's definitely going to have to step up. And I made all that point to say, yeah, somebody's going to have to step up. I say maybe not like Nick Foles, but hey, based on the history, you need something like that to occur.
Absolutely.
All right, O-line versus D-line. Our O-line. Oh, my gosh. This is not the best matchup for Jason Kelce this week.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Because Villa is so big, and Kelce's game is quickness. and their ability to bring that 5-0 and their ability to have, Sue and him just two, like first of all, Ndamukong and Sue's probably have always been one of the strongest people in NFL.
Oh yeah.
Like that's his game. That's always been his game, that he's more powerful than everybody else.
Yeah.
So when you add these two gentlemen to it, it gives this game will be a tough game for Kelsey. Unless they figure out a way to get him in space.
That's what I'm curious. I want to see. I'm going to pay really close attention to how the game plan, the blocking schemes that Coach Stout comes up with, because this will tell. And I'll be watching early in the game. It'll tell you what the plan is. Are they trying to get? Are they not even going to mess with Vita and those guys and get Kelsey out on the perimeter? Are they going to do some cross blocking? Are they going to, what type of schemes are they going to try to deploy to try to neutralize those guys? Because you're right. Just Kelsey lining up and just trying to bully them guys with the ball is not going to happen. So
yeah,
I'm very interested to see how we attack with the offensive line.
Yeah, it'd be great to get some if you get some combinations up to, but those are two big gentlemen, just two big gentlemen. They're two big powerful gentlemen. Yeah. But you also got Lane and Mailata versus Barrett and Pierre Paul. It's a lot of good matchups going on in this game, especially up front.
Yeah.
This is must-see TV. Like, I'll be paying attention to the offensive line, our offensive line, their defensive line all game, because this is must-see TV.
Absolutely.
Like, it's must-see. Like, if you can keep JPP away from the ball and Shaquille Barrett, like Mailata and Lane, you got a shot. If you can keep them away from getting to the quarterback and keep these big fellas from like just totally collapsing the inside. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great.
It'll be good.
All right. Here we go. Manscape read. Support for Q&A is brought to you by Manscape, the champion of the world for men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. And they just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard it right, 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I've tried the 4.0 and I'm blown away. The craftsmanship and details are second level. Nobody wants to get hurt down there. You know what I mean. So Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer has a cutting-edge ceramic blade that reduces those accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. You got to be comfortable down there. This upgraded trimmer also has a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, and has a 4000K LED spotlight that can turn on and off for more precision on your shave. The new lawnmower even allows you to customize your trim with guard lengths, sizes 1 through 4. How about wireless charging? Their new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction to help the battery last longer. Men, you can't use the same trimmer on your nuts and face. Nobody needs pubes in their mouth. Get your own ball, hair, and body trimmer with Manscaped. Make me time the best time like Jason Avant always does. Get 20% off and free shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code QA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code QA. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped, and your balls will thank you. All right, Q, let's get through some of these topics, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover still.
Yeah, we do.
All right, here we go. All right. Eagles, now this is for you. Eagles versus Bucs. Evaluate the Eagles defense versus Tampa Bay offense. No Antonio Brown. No Chris Godwin, but a lot of TB12. What do you got?
Yeah, this is gonna be this is gonna be a tough matchup. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
You don't have AB, Chris Godwin, you don't have, but remember Godwin wasn't there all year, and then last year, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So they're kind of used to not playing with him. They have Mike Evans still, Gronk. They still got um, OJ Howard. This kid Grayson, the sprinter. He's like I remember I
Mhm.
saw a thing on him. He was a sprinter coming out of college, and ended up becoming a superstar. He's playing with the Bucs right now. He's
Yeah,
ended up being a superstar. I think
yeah.
so Fournette's coming back.
Tyrell
He's supposed to be
Grayson.
coming back healthy. You still got Ronald Jones. I think he's getting back healthy or coming off injury. So this offense is still very much high powered, and obviously you got TB12. So I think it's going to be a tall task. I think the defense is, as long as, like you said, as long as you don't let them get past 28. You can't let them get 28 points or more. If the Buccaneers score over 28 points, it's going to be very tough to win this game.
Mm.
You have to win on third down, and you have to live with the dink and dunk type offense. You have to understand that that's Tom Brady's game, and he's going to get the ball out fast. You're going to get frustrated because even if you do, send the pressure, he's going to get the ball out fast. It's probably going to get to the right guy. That's the only open guy in the coverage. So you just have to be patient, and you have to play. And I hate to say it this way, but you have to play like a bend don't break style defense against him, because the second you get frustrated and you try to come after him, that's when he burns you.
Mm.
So be smart on third down, pressure if you need to, but that front four has got to come ready to play. You have to get hits on Tom Brady early in the game, and you have to do it without sending blitzes, because you're down one guy in coverage and he's going to find the open man. So if you can generate pressure with your front four, take away the early quick routes by his slot receivers, his tight ends, you will have a chance. But it's going to be tough because he's a smart quarterback and he knows where he's going.
The first game, Q, great analysis. One, the first game, Tom Brady made it look like 7-on-7 at the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
In route, out route, stop route, Antonio Brown. Over, like, it was crazy. I was like, this is ridiculousness. It was just so easy. How do we counteract that? Do we just have to give it to him and just hope the D line gets there? What can the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, do to slow down Tom Brady? Is it possible? Or you just say, let's let Tom Brady get his, just keep him out of the end zone?
Well, so I wanted to talk about real quick about the offense in general. So Bruce Arians' offense generally, and Byron Leftwich is the OC, but it's really from the Bruce Arians tree. It's traditionally been, bunch routes, trips bunch or double bunch, a lot of like deep over routes, deep crossing routes. That's traditionally been Bruce Arians type offense. And I remember last year when Tom Brady first came there, him and Arians and Brady were kind of butting heads, and they weren't very successful early on. And it wasn't until Arians kind of stepped back and let Tom kind of put his style of offense. So what we're seeing is kind of a blend of Arians style offense and then the Tom Brady style offense with the quick out routes that he used to throw all the time, the Amendola and what's the other guy? Edelman. So it's kind of a blend of that. So I would say you're absolutely right. You cannot sit back and just to cover two and just hope that he doesn't kill you, right? Because then he will kill you. That's exactly what happened the first time, 7-on-7. So you have to change up your coverage looks. You have to take some chances, not chances in terms of pressuring, but you have to take some chances in terms of rotating late with your safeties. You have to take some chances with, press coverage. And to me, if one of the things that I would definitely do on third down situations, I would put a dedicated double on Mike Evans, and I put a dedicated double on Gronk. I would put Rodney on on whatever side Mike Evans is on. I put my corner that side in a bracket or a press, double him. I put either Epps or I always forget his name. Let's say
And Harris.
Harris, yes, on the
He had
side
a pick
where
last game. He had a pick last game
he
against the Buccaneers.
did.
Go ahead.
So I put him on Gronk's side with Slayer or whoever, and double him. And I'd say the rest of the linebackers, slot guys, you're on your own, and just try to take out Mike Evans and Gronk, because that's who Brady goes to when he needs a play. And you're talking third down, critical situations. That's something that I would do as kind of a change up. Will he see it? He'll probably see it, but he'll see it and possibly go to, someone else. So you have to get with the mindset of, let's take away the short, quick passing game. Let's not get beat over our head. Let's play smart, pressure when we have to. We got to get our front four to get some pressure without blitzing. And then in certain situations, you have to double the guys that he looks for.
The Mike Evans, 14 touchdowns this year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
That's one season. 14 touchdowns this year. The craziest thing that he was projected before the season to have 13 touchdowns. And he ended up beating the projection 13 to get 14. And with the weapon like that, Darius Slay has to travel with him.
Yeah.
You got like this game, you got to try to mitigate him, especially with no one else but Gronk, not no one else, but a lot of unproven guys besides Gronk.
Yeah.
So I want to see if that happens. I doubt if it does, because we play too much zone in order for things like that to happen. Yeah. But in man situations, it would be a dead giveaway. But I think it's worth it in critical situations to make sure that he's on Mike Evans.
Yeah. So, and then real quick, what I meant in those situations, I agree with you on that. I'm talking about the situations where they flex, like if they flex Gronk out and he's at the receiver position, right? And you want to keep the integrity of the defense. You don't want to show man. So let's say if Nelson's on that side, let's say Slay's on the side.
Yeah.
In those situations, I think you can get away with through it, one player or so. But I agree with you. It's going to be tough. I get nervous of matching up a corner on a guy the entire game, because they can move him anywhere.
Yeah.
They can move Evans in the slot, and then what? How do you adjust then? I mean, usually you just keep the corner outside. You just keep him on that side, but
I will. I think that may be too complex for
yeah. So
let's not think about that. Right. I'm not gonna. We don't worry with that. Slay mirror Evans? We talked about that man situation. He could. He can. They could mirror. Will they? I don't think that they will. They should in the critical situations, third downs. When this obvious man situation, there's no harm in doing that. We play so much zone coverage that it doesn't make sense for him to be on the side of him, in zone, because it's not always his responsibility, depending on what happens in front of him. And we talked about the front rush and what needs to occur. You can't beat Tom Brady without getting to him.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like, we didn't get to him most of the game in the Super Bowl a couple years, 4 years ago. Has it been 4 years ago? We didn't get to him most of the time, but we got to him in a critical situation, and it ended up changing the game with Brandon and Derek Barnett. All right, let's go with audience questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got two. Jack G. Could the Eagles' conditioning explain why they've been more effective in the second half of games in general? Are there specific teams in the NFL that get advantages in longer drives, or as the game goes on, due to fitness?
Um, I, that's a good question. I think specifically, I think the Eagles do. I think they do a good job of conditioning, but I think it really comes down to the game, the style of game that they've been playing. When you run the ball as well as they've been running, when you continue to just stick with the run and you pass when you need to, two things happen. You wear out the opposing team's D line and their linebackers, and then your defense is sitting on the sidelines resting,
Yeah.
and it shortens the game. So I think that's really what we're seeing when the Eagles have been successful running the ball, when the Eagles have been successful getting off the field on third down, getting turnovers on defense. I think that's really kind of what we're seeing. And I mean, for the most part, I think most teams in the NFL, most everybody in the NFL takes care of their bodies. Everybody, they do what they're supposed to do. About this, the late time in the season, everybody's pretty much in game shape. So I think it's really more a factor from us just being able to run the ball so well and defense getting off the field and playing with some tenacity. What do you think?
I think what you said about a team running the football is definitely true. It wears you down. It's like a big person just leaning on you all the time in a rest in the boxing match, right? It's just I'm just leaning on you. I throw a few shots every now and again. It just you just constantly got that body weight on you. It just wears you out after a while.
Yeah.
Even if you're in great shape, if somebody's just leaning on you the entire time, like, or just imagine sticking the best player on defense you're on defense. You got to stick the best player all the time. It just wears you down. You don't want to play offense, right? So because you got to worry about this guy on offense on the other end, and you guarding him.
Yeah.
So I think that the style that we play, it may look like we're wearing teams out and it's about fitness. I think it's more so about just the lack of attention to detail by defenses in run game and fits and responsibilities, because it's been so long since teams have featured the run game as much as the NFL has gone back to it. And you got to remember, the defense always needs a chance to catch up.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So once a trend happens and teams start to take advantage of it, let the Eagles or the Titans make the Super Bowl, then everybody going to try to go and start running the ball, right? And then the defense is going to catch up. So that's what I think, that we may be looking at it and saying, oh, our offensive line is wearing them out. They are wearing them out, but also too, they're not trained to do this anymore. Like we're not trained to take on this many runs in the football game. Nobody is. The linebackers nowadays are 220 something.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point. Yeah,
they're just not built for that anymore. They're built for covering a flat. They're built for covering a tight end. They're built to run in space. They're not built to take on, a lineman and get off of a lineman. And, if he makes it to the second level, we're just not built for that.
That's a good point. That's a great analysis. I didn't even think about it that way. I like that.
Yeah. But I think it has something to do with, I won't get in the framework of thinking, in a frame of mind of thinking that the Eagles is like the most superior team as far as endurance and in shape. Like that's asinine. These are NFL players, and there's teams that are practicing just as hard, or like I won't believe that. I will say that the better your defense is, and if you're used to getting off the field by a certain time, like if you're not used to playing 10-play drive, you're gonna get blown. It's gonna be tough for you. You know what I mean? It don't matter what you're doing. Like if your defense is used to getting off the field at a certain time, being like the match drive we've been in, we normally get about a 6-minute drive, and the team goes out there, gives you a 12-minute drive, you're gonna be tired because it's just when you're not prepared for that. And the Eagles have been able to do that to a few teams, but I don't think it's necessarily conditioning as much as it is just happenstance sometimes. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Which player surprised you? Oh, go ahead. You got this question.
Yeah, so this is from Jesse W said, "This is a good question, actually. Which players surprised you guys the most this season, whether good or bad?"
Oh, Jesse, I wish I would have had this question earlier in the day, Jesse. I'm trying to think about it. Which Jordan Mailata has been a revelation this year.
Yes.
Right? He's been a revelation this year. He came on a little bit last year, but his play has elevated this team to a different plateau when it comes to run blocking and also pass protection. He has so much potential and he's still learning the game. So I think that he's been by far the most positive player on our team, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because we came into the season, Andre Dillard or Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
He wins that battle. All right, how's Jordan Mailata when he comes to facing top tier competition? Well, he's pretty damn good, no matter who he plays. And so I think another player surprise. I would say the lack of production by Jalen Reagor, coming off all of the Justin Jefferson hype, how much he regards that and minds that, his mind is on that type of stuff in social media and wanting to prove people wrong and it's been a dud type of season.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna keep it with the defense. For me, my biggest surprise in a good way has been Avonte Maddox. I think early on, the first few games, he looked like he was really playing out of place.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it earlier. Like he looked like he didn't deserve to be out there, like at times in certain plays. And over the last half of the season, man, he's really picked his game up in a big way. He's been making plays. He's dropping where he's supposed to be dropping. He's flying around. He's playing with speed and energy. He's really what this defense needed at that position. Someone that's going to kind of solidify that area, that nickel position. And I think he's probably been the biggest surprise, especially over the last half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, bad, and I hate to say this, but it's really not his fault. But Miles Sanders, it's not his fault with the injuries and stuff. And then what happened early in the year when he wasn't playing for whatever reason that was. We
don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
I ain't say it. It wasn't me. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, man. I just feel bad for the guy, but it's been the biggest surprise in a bad way for him. I was really pulling for him, and then I don't know what his future holds, but it just seemed like every time he gets an opportunity, it just something bad.
Something else happens, man. He can play. Still haven't scored a touchdown this season.
Crazy.
Crazy. It's tough for a running back to go a whole season not score. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we know what that's about.
Eagles, Buccaneers this Sunday. We'll see how it goes. Let's go Birds. We really want the Birds to win. We know that it's an uphill battle. Can it be done? Jalen Hurts. Is he the starter if he loses this game next year?
Yes, I think he's locked in his spot for next year. I think he's showed enough. I'm not saying that they're not going to draft a quarterback. I still think, just knowing this organization, they're going to draft, maybe not high, maybe mid round. They're going to draft a quarterback. But I think he's showed over the last half of the year that he's starting to progress. He's trending upward right now. So I'm going to say, yeah. What about you?
I don't want to answer this question.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think that the Eagles will
commit.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he may not be back as the starter. I'm just saying that they're gonna bring in guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna bring in somebody, and if they get an opportunity for Deshaun Watson, they're gonna do it faster than heaven gets the news.
I mean, I don't think anybody would be too upset. I mean, that'd be understandable,
Yeah,
right?
but
As
you
as
know,
as long as the other stuff gets handled, I
yeah,
think for the most part, everybody.
it'll get handled. That'll get handled because
Oh,
it's a lot of his word versus theirs, and I'm not saying that he's innocent at all, but that'll get handled. Will it get handled without a suspension? Probably not.
the whole thing is just weird. I know
Yeah.
we don't want to get into it,
No,
but
I'm not going too far there
just
because he's not an innocent person. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to you got to have a certain amount of evidence, and everything that I've read, there's not much of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just, you know what, we ain't got to worry about that. We're gonna go out there on Sunday. Jalen's gonna have about 350 yards passing, about 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. We're gonna kick Tom Brady's butt out of the playoffs again, and we ain't got to worry about none of that.
Listen,
You heard it here first.
if Jalen Hurts has 350 yards passing and we win, I'll run down the street naked.
You guys heard it. You heard it. Come on, Jalen. I don't want to see it, but I do want you to have to do it. We got to get the editors to put the blur box.
Yeah. We're going streaky. Oh, let me stop you guys. It's a little late here. All right, after hours version of the Q&A show. All right, let me stop it. We want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Q&A show. Again, my name is Jason Avant with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Make sure to submit your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Thank you to Adam and Jeff and Hunter and everyone else responsible for us being on, and to all the fans that tune in each and every week. Thank you guys, and have a great night. Q, you got the last words.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody. It's always great. Love chatting with you guys. Continue to send those questions in, and as always, man, I learn something every week. I just learned what you're willing to do for a bet.
350 and a win.
And a win. All right. Have a good day, everybody.